Well, let's call the meeting to get to order at 4 p.m. today and ask if there is any public comment. Doesn't seem to be anybody on. So how about approval of the previous minutes, please?
Okay.
Go ahead. I think Norm has approved them. Do you accept?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
Okay, so
Pat?
Does anyone else?
I approve.
I'm going to put that Virginia made the motion then, and Norm seconded.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, Patty, we're ready for you right away.
Great. Today we have September warrants that total $35,123.76. And the total for payroll is $18,416.46. That includes Chief Carlton's salary of $5,707.92 and Chief Shield's pay of $3,333.34. And there were one event for the commissioners and the secretary. The total payout for the volunteers, including the warrants, is $13,190. And you all have the September financial statements for your review. So today I'm just looking for approval for the warrants and payroll for October.
I make a motion that we accept the payroll.
Okay, and there's a second?
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
it's passed. But, okay,
Is that
I have some questions.
okay?
The questions are some of the costs. And do you want to talk about those now, Chief, or do you want to wait for in your report?
I'm okay with talking about them now if you would like.
Okay, please. I think, what is the reference media?
Reference media is for our new projector inside the training room.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, and it'll be great to have it. That's all I had a question
It's
about.
been installed. Yeah, it's been installed and everything. So our last projector, which is a commercial projector that we have to buy for that room for its capabilities, went to heaven. And so I had to purchase a new projector for the training room for meetings and for trainings, obviously. And that's the cost of it. It's a laser bulb, or it's a laser. It's not even, it doesn't even have bulbs anymore. The new projectors don't. So supposedly it'll last us anywhere between 15 and 20,000 hours before we have to start considering to replace the laser portion of that. If we decide to do that once it goes to needing to be improved upon as well. So that's what reference media is. So it was a capital expenditure.
Okay, any questions about that? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll just explain everything else. Vital Smarts is Crucial Conversations. It's a course that I offer my volunteers, and that's an online portion. And I'm hoping to get 5 to 7 of my volunteers, especially my officers, trained up in Crucial Conversations. You can look it up. It's a Fortune 500 company. They teach you how to hold conversations to the best of your ability, not only in your work life, but also your personal life. So that's something I offer. Washington firefighter training is just that. It's firefighter training. We bought a new computer for the training room as well. So both the projector and the computer went opposite directions in the training room, and they've both been basically buried. I do have the backup computer in my office right now, but that's that computer. So both the projector and computer were replaced in the training room. Motor trucks, that was repair and maintenance for the 3 engines. that we currently have. And then obviously Puget Sound Energy.
Okay. Any questions?
Nope.
No? Okay. All right. Everybody's happy with that. So, um, did we do I'm sorry, I lost track. Did we do the
Oh.
motion to accept the warrants and, yeah, we did. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
So I just have a quick update on the budget then. And that is as of September 30th, we have 31.05% left in the budget compared to 36.84 this time last year. And I believe that that is likely due to partially the increase of the liability insurance premium that we just paid and posted.
And fuel costs all year.
Yes, absolutely.
We anticipated those, so a bit, yeah. Okay. Any questions of Patty? Okay.
No.
Anything else, Patty?
I don't have anything else.
You're all finished. Okay.
Yes.
We have unfinished, let's do the chief's report and that.
So I don't know why this isn't sharing. I share it to the computer. You guys may be able to see it, but I lose it on my screen. So I apologize. I can't move it around. Well, you can't see it because Linda, I haven't shared this document yet. I was speaking about Patty's report. Okay. So I was trying to share it and it was said it was being shared, but I couldn't move it around because I lost it on my screen. I
Yeah,
don't know what's going on with Zoom at this point. So all of you were sent my chief's report. So I'll just read it off this time without it being seen. I apologize to the public that it won't be part of the meeting, but it's part of our minutes that are held here at the hall. So my chief's report for October 2022 for the month of September. Our CPR campaign for the summer has trained a total of 146 people at this point. And we just held another class this past weekend. It was a very difficult class. And I say that because I think we got 2 or 3 calls during the class. So there was a lot of me stepping out of the room and other personnel coming in and out. But those that attended, everybody really stuck through it. Those that attended were troopers. And I want to thank all of them for sticking around, because it went about an hour and a half longer than it should have, just because of our call volume that we had during the class. The engines are going in for their yearly pump testing and maintenance at Pro Fire in Canada. That's where we go. So you're going to be seeing the credit card receipts coming out next month. And I'm assuming that's going to be probably around $6,000 to $7,000, if not a little bit more of costs that you're going to be seeing. And that is something that we do every single year. We have to get our pumps certified that they're pumping at their rated capacities of 1,500 GPM a minute. And if we don't do that, then that hits us on the insurance rating side of things for property taxes here. The volunteer recognition banquet is coming up on November 12th. I would ask that all of you, if you would like to come, that you would send me an email so I can put you on the list. I'll be sending out a reminder tomorrow, Friday the 14th. Excuse me. Friday the 14th is the last day that I'll be accepting those invitations. Obviously, there'll be some give to that, but I want to try to be getting a solid number out to those that'll be providing the food so we can start having those discussions. I don't really have any reports on any of the apparatus other than to say that part of the maintenance that we have this year, and the reason why it's going to be more excuse me, I'm sorry, I have a tickle in my throat, is that we're getting our foam systems flushed. And that hasn't been done in the past. We're switching over to a more eco-friendly foam, and all the foam tanks had to be cleaned out, cleared, so we can put in this new foam into our tank that's more eco-friendly. Member roster, there's 40 members, 31 Canadian, 8 Point Roberts, 1 county. We have 33 firefighters, 1 ambassador, 15 EMTs, which 4 are advanced, 2 paramedics, which includes me as well. Volunteer hours for the month of September, 2,375. Volunteer payroll, if all volunteers are getting paid, 13,964. Combined chief hours, I worked 160. If you remember, I went down to Phoenix. That took up 40 hours for a blue card, additional training down there, Assistant Chief Shields, 115.5, total hours, 275.5. We had 34 calls in the month of September. We had 12 EMS calls. We transported 3 patients to St. Joseph's Hospital. Airlift Northwest took 2 of our patients, and we had 7 no transports. We had 11 community paramedic visits in the community during the month of September. Agency assists, we had 0. Public service was 7. Fire classifications, we had 4. We had 1 outdoor permitted burn. We had 1 structure fire. We had 1 grass fire, and we had a gas leak. Gas leak probably shouldn't be on there. I think I missed that. So take that off. We had a grass fire. So we didn't have a gas leak last month. Take that off of my report. But we did have a search and rescue. Search and rescue was, we had a lost person in the forest and out on a trail system that had some memory problems. And we went out in search of them, and they were found safely. That concludes my chief's report for the month of October for September.
Thank you. Any questions of the chief?
No.
They're all happy with your report.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We need to do an executive session. Apparently, Chief, you asked to have that changed.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
I don't, yeah, I'm okay with it not happening at this point. We can delay that until next month if you guys still want to hold that.
And do you want to delay it for any particular reason?
Number one, I didn't set up a separate meeting on Zoom for the executive session,
Okay, all right.
which would be needed.
Why would it be needed? It's not recorded. It's an executive session, right?
That is correct, but we are recording this meeting, therefore we can't have an executive session on this panel as we speak.
Oh,
because
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
other
you guys wouldn't be
people-
able to talk privately.
No.
Other that's other people are involved, so I'm fine with delaying that until next month if you still choose to have it.
Okay, just a question of Patty, will that complicate issues in terms of the timing and our budget and all of that?
I don't think so, but well,
You were concerned about the
yes,
time that we were going to do it.
exactly, because Chief and I we have a meeting scheduled to start budget preparation next week. And then we'll plan on having a budget workshop and then approving the budget at the regular meeting next month, correct, Chief? Is
Yeah,
that
that sounds
that? So
that
we
sounds
want the,
correct. We need to this meeting, we need to schedule a date for a budget workshop with all the commissioners.
Yes.
Patty and I will be getting through or together before that
Okay,
to go through last year's budget and to lay out costs associated with 2023 to introduce to you at that meeting coming up. That'll have to be a special meeting to discuss that. As with any year, I think Commissioner Katz is going to be the new one to this, that the budget workshop meeting is to discuss 2022 and moving into 2023 to look at all the different divisions and line items and the costs associated with those. And then not making a decision at that meeting, but if any changes are subjected, that we would make those changes. We would officially present that at the November meeting to the public in an open format. And it would be approved upon or rejected at that meeting by the commissioners. So go ahead.
oh, pardon me. My suggestion would be then maybe when we set up that special meeting, that we could also have an executive session at that time where the board could so choose, to get together and discuss your wage at that time. And then we can include that in and be prepared for the November regular meeting.
Yeah.
that
And
would work.
Okay.
like I said, I have no concern really about that meeting at this point. I'm happy to forego those conversations until, next year if needed. And it's up to the commissioners, that's my 2 cents on that. I think I'll have to ask Brian about that to see if we can schedule an executive session outside of a regular scheduled meeting. Or if they can be combined, if we can have a budget workshop and then have an executive session at the end of the budget workshop. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, and I'm fairly sure that's certain, because no decisions will be made inside that executive session, and then when the board comes back, then we go back into the regular, or pardon me, the special meeting, and then they could vote on something and we could have it prepared in time.
Yeah.
Can we do this on Zoom?
Here's the issue with special meetings.
Yeah,
The special meetings are only supposed to be, it may work. I just need to confirm it with Brian.
Okay.
Special meetings are only supposed to be what is on the meeting agenda. And those are the only things that can be discussed. So let me just double check it with Brian and make sure that we'll be
Okay.
within legalities.
Right, since
Calling a-
wages are part of the budget.
Yes, calling a
Okay.
special meeting to have a budget workshop. And within that budget workshop, having another line item of topic would be an executive session to discuss salaries. And then be able to come back out of that budget workshop, because there is no decision made at the budget workshop part of it, but coming out of that executive meeting and making a decision potentially on a salary. So that's what I'm gathering. So I make it sure that I'm putting it across to Brian correctly.
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess the question I would have is, can you not have two meetings, one following the other? If one is closed out and then you call that another meeting?
I'll ask.
Okay,
I'll ask.
that's kind of weird, but we could maybe do it.
Yeah. So the other thing is we need to pick a date for that budget workshop meeting.
Okay, do you have something in mind?
When was our, Patty, we're meeting on the 17th.
Correct,
Patty and
yes.
I. So I would say the 26th,
Please clean it up in time.
which is a Wednesday. 26th is a Wednesday, if that works for everybody, at 4 o'clock for the special meeting for the public purposes. So it's still at 4.
That's in November, right?
No, that'll be in October. So
Oh, October, okay.
October 26th would be the budget workshop and potentially the executive session.
Yes.
That's in
Okay.
2 weeks. Does anybody have an issue with that?
No,
So it's 26. Oh, yeah, I'm there. Okay.
October 26th would be the budget workshop and potentially the executive session.
okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
And we'll schedule it as our usual time at 4.
Yeah, for the budget workshop, I think that's best for public availability since they're used to 4.
Yes,
And then the executive session, if that's allowed after that.
okay.
That's good.
Any further comments on this executive session and
The
special
only
meeting?
comments I have is that I am available for the October 26th budget workshop meeting, but I am unavailable for the regularly scheduled meeting in November this year.
Well,
So it can be recorded and I can type it from the recordings as I have done in the past. I just wanted y'all to be aware.
okay.
I'm taking my COVID birthday trip that was delayed 2 years ago.
Oh, well, then I guess we'll just have to let you go.
And I'll be in the Caribbean with no Wi-Fi, so can't join, sorry.
Well, but you
Fire.
can send us pictures.
You're totally a liar there. There's Wi-Fi everywhere. I am not gonna believe you don't have Wi-Fi in Caribbean. I'm gonna check your Facebook account, and if you're posting stuff, I know you have Wi-Fi.
Okay, you go ahead. That's hilarious.
Caught.
Red-handed.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Where are we? So, any other new business?
I do have a topic I need to bring up.
Okay,
So this concerns assistance to firefighter grants, the AFG FEMA grant process, which is going to be opening up here very, very soon. This year, I'm going to be going for a replacement of all of our portable radios and our mobiles. This grant's going to probably be worth, I would have to say, close to 200,000 to 300,000, if not more, because our radio capacity, the radios we're currently using from Motorola have served out their lifespan. They are considered obsolete by AFG standards at this point, and moving into more usable technology with new radios. So this would replace all of the hand radios that we have and all the vehicle radios, including the base station at the fire station here. And again, that's going to be a couple 100,000. I don't have the quote back yet from Motorola, but we're also using the state bid for that because Motorola's on state bid. So that's going to be a big one. And then I'm also going to be putting in for an ambulance to replace AID 5802, which is a 1991 ambulance. And the years for ambulances, I believe, radios was 14. I want to say ambulances, they actually have what they consider to be out of date is something that's over 30 years of age. And I believe 1991 puts us over 30 years. Is that correct?
sort of.
Yeah. So that's why I'm in the point value range now with AFG that it's likely to get funded. I'll be able to put in probably the funding usually happens between the 100 and 150,000 mark for AFG. Now that's going to require us to put in some capital reserves to most likely get a new ambulance, because new ambulances at this point are 150 to 225,000. Believe it or not, with inflation, and that's the cost of things that we're going into. I'll be getting some bids, or not some bids, but quotes from Braun, from North Star, which is a Braun subsidiary kind of thing here in Washington, and a few other manufacturers on some of their stock units. It's not going to be anything fancy, but it would be put into our frontline purposes. And then the one we currently have, which is a 2007, it would be put into reserve capacity. And the new one would most likely be gas and not a diesel engine. So all new ambulances now are going gas versus diesel.
Interesting.
Where I need to discuss and to get your approval is I would like to use firegrants.com. Firegrants is a platform. They help you write the narratives to what AFG specifics are. And with the size of both of these grants, I would like them to review my application and our narratives and assist with the narratives if needed. They're at like a 52% success rate. So on both grants, we have a 50-50 chance with their help, which writing it by myself, I've been fortunate enough to be lucky to get, an SCBA grant that was worth about $170,000 in the past. But me, myself, and I, statistically, I have about a 17% chance of getting awarded AFG grants. So best thing is that both of these grants, both of the things that we're trying to replace are out of date by their standards. So that helps us a lot. But there's still no guarantee. The cost to have that done is around $6,500 for both grants. Now, if we get a grant, we can reimburse up to $1,500 by the feds for that grant. So that would cut off $1,500. That would come back to the district. If we got both grants, we'd get a total of $3,000 back from the grants. So it would cost us technically overall $3,200. or 3,500, whatever I was saying. So I think it's 6,250. It's 6,250 is the actual cost. So 6,500. So I would like my commissioners on board with me utilizing this organization to assist with these grants and to help me formulate narratives that are very specific. I think there's some things that I've haven't been able to do to a higher ability, just because of trying to understand everything AFG asks for and the language that you use is very convoluted in their documents. So this company does it all the time. So hopefully they'd be able to rework our narratives enough to where I could utilize, because it's our property at that point, I could utilize them in the years to come as well, to formulate other narratives for other capital projects
Makes sense.
needed in the future. So I'm looking to go to experts that are better than myself at correlating a narrative this year for our AFG grants due to the importance of both of these.
Any comments? I certainly support that. And if any of you disagree, let me know, but it seems to me, do you need a formal motion to that, or?
No,
What are you doing?
I don't think it requires a motion. I'm just wanting to inform you that I was planning on going to this. I'll speak to Patty and make sure we have the money to do it in this year's budget, unless they will not charge me until next year. That's something I need to discuss with them. And then choose which path I'm going to go. Either the full application where they fill out the entire application and make sure everything's where it needs to be for both the ambulance and the radios, or if I go full application on one, only narratives on the other, it all reduces in cost. If depending on whatever, I could do the application portion myself and just have them do my narratives, which would be 3,100 and change. But I need to decide which way I'm going to go to see if I've made any mistakes on the meat and potatoes of the application in the past. If I've made any mistakes that I haven't been able to see, that I got point values taken away from. It would just be nice to have people that get paid to write the grants and to look over the applications, to view my application at least once every few years, to make sure that I'm doing everything I can on my end to be successful. And again, there's over 10,000 applications that are put in to AFG on a yearly basis. And
I'm sorry, Chief, I was writing. Can you say that again? How many were? Yeah.
over 10,000 applications are put in on our usual basis with AFG. I think that's going to go up just because of everything of the cost of buying now. I mean, in a regular time frame, engines go up 3% a year. So like if we wait 5 years, an engine's going to cost 15% more than what it would cost today. That's gotten worse with the inflation and with the state of the economy that we're currently in. And that's right around now 5-6% is the upgrade in engine costs on a yearly basis. Ambulances are having the same cost. And then we have the short supply of the things that go in an ambulance. So the building of these projects are being delayed out even further now too.
Sure, yeah.
So anyway, if you're okay with me going all in, then I can choose to get the 6,250 is what it would be. Again, I'll confirm with Patty that we have enough wiggle room in this year's budget to do that if necessary. Otherwise, if we don't, then I'll whittle it down to one of the other options.
Did you have a comment, Norm?
No, it
No, okay. I
sounds
thought you had
like
your hand up.
the-
Pat, do you have any comment? No?
No, I just.
Well, since they're not gonna comment, I guess we're giving you all the permission you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think it sounds wonderful. I think we have been, you've been struggling for quite a while, and we need to upgrade this equipment. Yes.
How long? Question. how long do you think that'll, the hours that you would have to put in for this, just for this type of grant?
Working on the narratives is the most difficult part. And my mentor, he helps me with my narratives and we go back and forth. But overall, between the two applications, we're probably looking at 20 hours of just working on our narratives. The meat and potato part of the application is just digits, and it's usually pretty easy, but a mistake can be made there too. And that's why I would like to just have a group of individuals who could overlook my work. I don't think
Yeah.
that's a bad option, is to make sure I'm doing everything I can on my end to be successful, and then really polish up the narratives to the way that AFG wants them stated. Because in the past, they don't like to know what we do with the projects or what we're going to do, what we plan on doing with the vehicle. And we've made that mistake in the past. So, people that sit on those boards, sit on AFG review, these are the people that work for this company that write the grants. And so I'm hoping, there's no guarantee, but a 50% chance is better than what I can give at 20%, 17%. It gives us a flip of the quarter, right? And I believe, to spend $6,200 and basically probably get close to 400,000, if, not more, 500,000 for 6,200. I think it's a good thing. Now, if we don't get either grants, then we have to eat the cost, right? But I think the product that we're going to get out of the narratives being reviewed and them giving me guidance in writing narratives in the future is well paid for at that point.
Yeah, I agree.
The other thing I should bring up in new business is, it's probably been over a year. A new vehicle was approved for purchase, and nothing has been done on that because of the economy, COVID, and everything else. I would like to move forwards with that purchase. It would be a new Tahoe, and it's under state bid. But I just want to make sure everybody's still okay with that. My Tahoe would go into reserve capacity then and become a community paramedic vehicle, and be able to transfer our firefighters back and forth to trainings and things like that as well. My vehicle now has 150,000 miles on it. It's 10 years out, and it's really reached its frontline, service capacity. So it's going to be in the range of 70, 80,000 is what it's going to end up being. The vehicle itself, I believe at state bid is 46, 47, but then you have to consider lighting package, radios and everything else. So that's just for a regular vehicle. And I hate to say, but everybody needs to understand how expensive everything is in regards to running emergency services. And if that's still okay, then I'll start working with the state and get the bid and everything else like that, and formulate a plan on getting that on order.
Do I hear any objection to that?
No, I think it's a good idea to stay ahead of this.
Yeah.
We can't have wheels falling off the equipment, and fingers crossed when they go down to pick somebody up and things, and responding to this community fire situation. I think it's stay ahead of the 8 ball as best as you can, irregardless what the economy is. I mean, we don't have choices like putting it off too much here.
I think it would be good. I think it would be good to maybe at our next regular meeting, take a half an hour and just review the capital facilities plan that we have in place, and to go over the
Good
items.
idea. Yeah.
To go over the items that we've been successful at getting done, but to also look at all the items that we have not been able to fulfill at this point. And there's quite a few. We're way behind on a number of things, and our capital projections on getting things accomplished, vehicles, those types of things. And again, next year, early first quarter, I'll be reviewing our capital facilities plan with the county. We'll be getting the most updated numbers from Patty before we do that. And that plan will be updated in 2023 for the coming years. I want it to be as updated as possible for the public, and also obviously for the commissioners to be making decisions. And governance of the district. I think that we need to do that.
Okay, Chief, I want to ask you, because the November meeting already has the budget approval and everything, and now you're saying you also want to add the review of the capital facilities plan. I want to make sure it's on the agenda before I leave town, that you guys, that's where you'd like it, at the November regular meeting?
Yeah, people are gonna shoot my toes off if I ask for it in November, because that meeting is usually longer with my long-windedness. So maybe we delay this until December and discuss it before we close out, for our purposes, close out the 12 calendar year.
Thank you. I'll
Are
put it
are
on the
you okay
December
with
agenda.
that?
Are you guys okay with having a capital facilities plan discussion at the December meeting?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
All right, thank
Thank
you,
you. Thank you all.
Linda. Is there any other business that needs to be brought up? I would like to just make a comment. Thank you, Bill, for being here, and thank you, Pat, for continuing to take our information to the public. We appreciate it very much. And so with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I second that motion to adjourn.
Okay, we're adjourned at 4:36. This was a long meeting today.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Patty, I'll get a hold of you. and,
Okay,
Get ready for that next meeting. And Bill,
yes.
Vidal, thanks for being here.
Bye-bye.
Hi,
see
oh,
you
have a good trip.
Linda?
I'll be watching Facebook. So
Yes, Patty?
I will be
Sorry.
by to have all the commissioners sign the warrant stuff, so I can get it to Patty, and I have some stuff that Patty sent that you guys need to sign too, so I can get it back to her.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Time cards, yes.
No
Linda,
problem.
I have one thing for the November agenda, if I could tell you now.
Yeah, tell me now.
And that is, I don't believe we have any resolutions dated 2022 yet.
I
So
don't think we do.
annual void cancel warrant resolution.
Annual void cancellation.
Yes, and so I'll have a resolution available and present it at the November meeting with a list of old uncashed warrants that are older than a year old. So I will I will call that resolution 2022-01.
Okay, if you have any other specifics you need to send me, I don't leave till October 28th. And so the last
Okay.
time I'll probably check my email will be like Wednesday, the 27th,
Perfect. Okay,
or Wednesday, the 26th.
that's
so
great. I
on
think
the
that's
moment-
all I have, but I will let you know if I do.
I will call it the resolution 2022-01, the annual void warrant cancellation. And if there's
Perfect.
any other specifics you want, I'll be happy to add them before I leave.
Okay, great. Thank you.
for the November regular meeting, we're going to need the resolutions made. And Patty, do you make those?
I do. Yep. So I will label those as yes, 2, 3, and 4, or 2 and 3 for sure.
All right.
So, and those don't need to be, I don't think on the, well, I'll email you, Linda, when I have that prepared. After Chief and I meet, I'll have all that ready to go before you leave.
Yeah, and then whatever's on the agenda of last year, November, for the budget hearing needs to be on this agenda for the approval or denial of whatever resolution numbers those are.
You guys will have all of that in your inboxes before I go.
Okay. All right, so we really are adjourned.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
That's
everyone.
exactly right.
Thank you. See
Bye,
you.
Bye, everybody.
Right.